Damn, you guys are doing great. What? It's gonna be fine. You're definitely not gonna die right now. See, everything's okay. You're definitely gonna make it. That's kind of a cool finale. GG, my friends. Because I'm bad. Yeah, it plays until death. If you get through the gauntlet, nothing currently happens. But obviously that's not ideal. You saw nothing. So the trouble is more likely to do with probably not the damage per se. Well, I have a few pretty expensive processes throughout the game that are probably not optimized. Like probably the most expensive thing that I'm doing is every time so those of you who were here that one late night, you saw the AI grid. For those of you who weren't here, there's basically an invisible sort of search area around the player that is, I forget what size. It's like 9 by 9, something like that. And so that's, 9 times 9 cells. And it uses that to make choices about where to move in its near vicinity. So each cell is scored, and higher scores are more preferred directions to move in. This is the basis of how that works. Monsters that overlap with a cell lower the score. So I think currently I think it's like 10 times per second it pulls the entire list of active monsters and checks to see if they overlap with a cell. Now it's only pulling the full list once, not for every cell. So it pulls the list and then it checks that list against every cell. But it is doing that 10 times per second. And when you get into the gauntlet is spawning hundreds of monsters, right? So that array keeps getting bigger and bigger. I am open to learning how to do things better. There's a mixture of stuff in this that is either probably pretty fine forever, or Fuck it, this is a prototype. No, because it's additive. It's additive, right? So the more monsters that overlap with a particular cell, and the monster's area is also inflated, right? But the more overlaps there are, the lower the score gets. It was contextual, yeah. So I'm just saying that's one of the highest cost things that's happening all the time and would be affected by the monster count. So that plus other things that are affected by the high monster count, which may be damage, but I don't know off the top of my head what else I'm doing that's as costly as what I'm doing with the AI grid. No. The only thing that happens when the player takes damage is, well, everything related to taking damage, which includes, we have the particle emitter for spewing out the blood, we tint the sprite red, we update the player's stats for the HP to, you know, minus however much damage is being done. We check to see if we're dead. But that's about the extent of it. Leading into that, like how we know we're being damaged is coming from the game engine. Because the game engine is just, basically we're checking, are we overlapping with any monsters? If so, this dot damage, and then all those things are happening. So the hope would be that, you know, the stuff that the game engine provides would be, you know, at least somewhat optimal. And it probably is. I would assume that it is. The engine provides quad trees, but quad trees to me looked like they were only usable for... They were only really usable for stuff that you're going to calculate like one time and then you want to reference later. It didn't seem to be advantageous for something that you're doing in real time continually. I need to profile it, yeah. To really figure out what's happening, I need to understand the profiler, number one. I don't really use it. I don't often have occasion to use it. This game is the most reason I think I've ever had to use it. Oh my gosh. Sick, you gotta like PM me these on Discord or something because they'll just be lost in chat. But I will click on them right now to at least get them in tabs in my browser. I've gotten in the habit of watching like game dev videos and stuff, so I'm getting various ideas in my head all the time for things. Ah, thank you, Zik. Well, the thing is, food is that it's based off of their current position. And again, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't see how to make use of a tree there. That would be any more performant or better than asking the game engine to just provide me the full list of active monsters, and then I just check the ones that are between the coordinates. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just doesn't seem like it would be an improvement. It seems like it would be essentially the same or worse. Well, okay. But how do I... Where are we making this determination of the sublist? Like, the potential range... You're just moving the thing I am definitely already doing, like earlier a little bit, still requiring a lookup. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, that doesn't seem like it would be very different. Oh, you're talking about like chunking the. Okay, so I would have to check which quadrant the player is in, but I would still have to check that get what monsters are in what quadrant, which is changing in real time. So I would have to still do that all the time. I don't think that that would really, unless I'm thinking about it wrong. But I would have to be updating that at an equivalent pace, right? So that function is still going to be happening. It must be one of those things where it seems the same, but it's like it uses memory differently or something like that. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm fully aware that it's short of like very obvious stuff, and even in that case, you can't be 100% sure. But like, you don't try to optimize things without having some sort of evidence of what it is, especially so that you can check that what you changed actually made any sort of a difference. It's especially weird with a browser game because, like, this engine, for instance, doesn't. I don't think it provides any sort of like FPS because it would be kind of pointless because your platform is the browser, so you need the browser to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not rendering directly to a screen. We're rendering. The browser is handling the rendering. So I'm pretty sure Phaser doesn't really do or provide any sort of its own sort of profiling of stuff. Yeah, DevTools does. At least in Chrome, you can get an FPS. It's what is it? It's like Shift P or Alt Shift P, and then you just search for FPS, and it'll give you a little FPS meter and graph. Irritatingly, not in full screen. As soon as you go full screen, you have to close DevTools to go to full screen, so then the FPS meter goes away, which is really obnoxious. I know all this. I'm just mentioning that as like it's kind of an interesting factor since this is a browser based game. It's a little bit annoying because in the context, like I can't see what FPS it runs in OBS. I just have no way to see that because it's running in a browser source. I don't have access. There is a way to access DevTools, which I do have set up, but that's external to OBS, so I can't really tell how it's running actually in OBS. You know, I just hope it's running as fast. You know, as at least 60 FPS is what I need in OBS, but yeah, it's just interesting. I think the rationale for not providing it is because since it doesn't really mean anything outside of the running the game in the browser context, then running anything like that at all from within the game itself would just be like wasting cycles essentially, because it would be effectively meaningless anyhow. So yeah, well, the embedded OBS browser is Chromium. What are we watching? What have you got? Are you munching your nails? Okay, it's chewing his nails. I mean, Chrome is actually kind of advantageous in this case because a lot of stuff is built around the fact that Chromium has sort of been... Oh my gosh. Yes. The browser you said is definitely the best browser, but Chromium has uses. We all make the internet a very tiring place to be on, don't we? The name of a browser was mentioned that doesn't match the variable in my head titled favorite browser. I must I must shout out my favorite browser. I, by the way, am with you. I am also a Firefox preferer, a Firefox enjoyer. But I'll tell you right now, I don't use it for web dev. Just like I don't use Safari for web dev. The extent of Firefox and Safari usage in web dev is to check to make sure that they just aren't entirely broken. Like, yes, it will work on the iPhones. It will work in Firefox. Glad we checked that. Goodbye, those browsers. Oh, boy. I always walk into these fucking technical, religious arguments. Here's the rationale, and it's quite simple. The vastly most widely used browser is Chrome, followed by, very closely by, Safari on iOS. So, your primary target for web dev had really better be Chrome, regardless of whether you like it or not. And then you had really better 100% make sure that it also works the fuck in iOS Safari. This has just always been the case, is like, you're going to be better off if you're developing in the environment that is going to be the vast majority of users of whatever you're building. And in that, that used to be IE6. And nobody liked IE6. But, it just makes sense. All the other platforms are unimportant. Firefox, particularly unimportant. Nobody uses it. Not nobody. Stop crying. According to Wikipedia here, I think this is from 2020, so things may be different than this, but Firefox in third place at less than 4%. That is just not a user base that you need to be targeting. You would be making a website for nobody, next to nobody. You do make sure that these things work, yes. But it doesn't make sense to me to do your development in anything other than Chrome. There is one thing that would maybe make it worthwhile, which is, and I don't have much experience with this, but I am under the impression that Firefox has better debugging tools, or more detailed in some cases, that would make it more easier to figure certain things out than it would be in Chrome. Fuck Safari, by the way. Fuck Safari forever. I hate Safari. I hate trying to debug anything in Safari, but I know all the tricks and ins and outs and things, so very rarely do I ever run into a problem with Safari that I need to do that. That's why I learned them, because I don't want to have to ever fucking debug that motherfucker ever again. So I generally don't have problems with Safari anymore, either on desktop or iOS. They really are if the desktop one has a problem, the iOS is probably gonna have the same problem, and vice versa. Although there are occasions where iOS has a specific iOS issue. Yeah, that is nice being able to see the event handlers, and it's definitely deficient in Chrome. Although I'm sure there's probably a way. I think it's just easier in Firefox. Internet Explorer, yeah. We never check Edge. Nobody ever asks us to check Edge. Similarly, we don't target tablets generally because, like, what's the fucking point? When you look at, you know, user numbers, unless somehow you are specifically targeting an audience of tablet users, there's just nobody. But yeah, sorry, I am opinionated on this particular stuff. I have no love for Chrome in particular, but I personally think it's silly to not use it for dev. At least until it starts to lose to something else. In which case, then it's time to switch. And I'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Well, okay, like when I say we don't target, that doesn't mean it doesn't work. We don't put special effort beyond, yes, the thing does not break in a tablet viewport. But it's not going to be like optimal. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to try to, we're not making like special tablet layouts. Tablet is just big mobile. And laptops are just small desktop. Because it's just not worth the time. I imagine a lot of people do waste their time out there, though, on stuff. On down, and Bluey. I swear when those things die, they just sound like a dude yelling. They don't really sound like monsters. That's the one area of the sound design that's a little bit weird in this, is the monster sounds. Everything else is pretty fucking amazing. Oh, we've got some friends. Oh, we got a lot of friends. Right, if you could all just calm down. Enough for everybody. But yeah, I'm a big Firefox fan. Basically, right after Google announced that they were going to absolutely ruin Chrome, I switched all of my everything over to Firefox. I used to be a pretty avid Firefox user back in the day. And then I had a period of being pretty much an only Chrome user. And now I'm back on Firefox. We had one client that was like, such and such is not working in the Brave browser. I'm like, wow, how brave of you to bring that up, buddy. Like, in the case of, like, this is absolutely irrelevant to your target audience for the project that we did. So I don't know why you're telling me about this. Like, don't make me say that it absolutely matters 0% and I'm not going to spend any time on that. I hope you realize. But I don't think Brave is Brave isn't a different renderer, right? It's based on some shit. Right. It's Chrome, yeah.
Please, Isaac, the hive mind is coming. You have to make us whole.
I know. That's this whole. That's what we're doing. Gosh damn it. Pardon? Did that baby come out of that? Have I been avoiding a new iteration of these where a baby comes out instead of the little spiders? Or was that just a coincidence? Oh, this is not maybe the best time. I'd love to read this. Oh, it died. I could have kept that text log open. Oh well. Yeah. I don't... If it's not working in Brave, then it shouldn't be working in Chrome. Whatever it was that was brought up. I don't remember. Huh? Come on, buddy. Ugh, this slow walk stuff is everywhere, which is really annoying. Google is just bad. It's so... They're so fucking... shit now. And it's not just that it's big. It was big before, and it was when it was okay, right? It's that it got slowly infected over time with worthless husks. Worthless capitalist husks. And, I mean, there were definitely worthless capitalist husks there from the beginning as well. But in terms of, like, the particular ones that are currently there. These must just keep spawning, huh? I just wanted to kind of look around for items and stuff before I commit to whatever it is that we're exactly doing here. Okay, so this is just not open, so we probably have to move the thingy. Alright. Like their current CEO, I'm pretty sure, is just a total fucking ghoul. Yeah, what is evil anyway? Exactly. It was always an empty bullshit statement. People got hyped up about it. Oh, I forgot I'm on the slow stuff. Likely to die. I don't have a lot of healing. Okay, I'm out. The camera! The camera almost killed me. It was. It made me waste my final shot. I would have had this perfect final shot and blown them all up, but the camera decided to screw me over. I took out those two soldiers perfectly with back-to-back headshots. It felt great. And then that happened. Okay. Alright, so does it just flip this thing over the cliffside? Like a tiddlywink? Yeah, we really need... sorry, I just saw what you said, Zick, about Edge HTML. I think we really need some more actual different renderers. That's what I would be interested in.
Nicole.
But it all, for a while, it all was kind of congealing into just Chromium. WebKit. Everything was WebKit.
Emergency. Geo-orbital gravity tethers offline. Tectonic load released. Impact imminent. All personnel, evacuate immediately.
Payload. I'll restart the tether. Buy us time.
Isaac's really, 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 really dumb.
Rerouting gravity tether controls.
Come on, come on.
Forget it, Isaac. There's no fixing this.
Let her go, Daniels.
Let who go? Can't you see how delusional you are?
Nope.
We gotta go. The payload from the planet crack is about to fall.
I gave you a chance to come around, Isaac. But if you still won't see it, I'll help you. One last time. Wriggling override. This time, watch to the end.
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry.
Please explode.
Sorry about everything. I just wish I could talk to someone. It's all
Wamasi, thank you for the
falling
biddies.
apart here.
Also,
I can't
Ternix, thank you for the
believe
biddies.
what's happening. Strange. Such a little thing. Just had a talk. That's all this research was in the end. Not much, is it? Just had to make it listen when he begged for convergence. But I had a different prayer. It spoke. And then it listened. Make this stop, I said. Maybe it understood, but... I can't return what was taken. Why can't I see you again, Isaac? I loved you. I always loved you.
I called it, sort of. She killed herself.
That scientist from hydroponics.
More of this.
You were I wanted you to see.
Oh my god, I didn't think it was her.
For her and Nicole for you. Jacob.
Lord Ternix, thank you for the biddies.
No, she can't be. What the hell did you do?
You did this to yourself. Nicole's been dead this whole time. You just couldn't handle it, could you? Because if she's gone, at least now it'll be in safe hands. The marker won't turn anyone else into its puppet. Give me the loader remote. No. It's over. We're whole again. For Christ's sake, I'm not going to ask again, Cross.
No! Enough people have died!
Then just do it. I've got nothing left to lose.
Cross!
It's better this way, Isaac. You'll never recover from what the marker's done to you. And when the tectonic load drops,
Ipa, thank you
will
for
be
the biddies.
buried. Just like Earth God wanted.
goddamn.
Warning. Seismic activity increasing. Evacuate to safe location.
That's very cool.
The shuttle. I can still make it before she leaves.
Not without a boss fight. They're just giving us all the stuff. Yeah, very suspicious. Oh, we're here as well. This is probably it, so it's probably time to spend that cash. What have I got in my inventory? Hello, Miss Bun. There was a little bun behind me. A little bun behind me this whole time. Be careful. I don't know if I'm gonna need these. I'm gonna do that. Oh my god, I have so much stuff. Let's get one of these in here. What to do, what to do. I definitely want more of this. Lots more. Oh, okay. That does kind of fill up the old inventory. Decent amount of ammo for everything else. Let's see. Whoops. Wait, how many do I have now? I didn't mean to do that like that. I have 5. I could only buy annoying amounts of that. so I couldn't get a nice round 15. Oh, the one ammo is not available. Fortunately, I have a fuck ton of it. Contact beam. And beyond that, I have my many, many nodes. That's confusing. Secondary fire damage. I could buy more nodes as well, yeah. I'm just kind of aiming for some, like, easy ones that are just increased damage. Because I don't know what's about to happen. Likelihood is I'm going to die. I think I'm either going to, like, nail this or fucking die. If I fucking die, then I can, reconfigure.
Last warning, Isaac.
Nah, no save. Because I'm just gonna probably need to redo it anyway. Oh, are we gonna lose our shuttle? Oh! Man, I thought she was gonna get absolutely annihilated by a boulder from space.
Got my hand!
Isaac.
Oh. Okay, so now we just need to look at all those boxes. Oh wow, is this the
This is all I got left!
yeah. I did it! I did it. Hell yeah. Why can't I pick these up? I simply cannot. That seems bad. phase 1 complete, maybe? It looked like there was somebody behind me for a second. You gonna grow back your little orbs for me to destroy? This thing sure looks cool. I love the look. Meow. The guts there are really pulsating. Whoa! Yikes. Isaac, not even trying to run. I'm trying. But he don't care. Oh. Uh-huh. Blew up all of your little things. Kill the hive mind. god.
Diesel said.
Nut. Hey, Lindley, David the Biddies. Oh, he's out of here. Fuck this place. Also, by the way, how have we only done 2 games this Scream-A-Day? And it's already the 25th. Did I black out for most of October?
I'm sorry.
It still feels like October just begun to me. Nice. Well, it was good. Pardon me, excuse me, shit, god damn it, fuck. So that was just thank you for the biddies. Oh yeah, I did do some PUBG as well. Well, we're gonna have to bust this thing open and start spreading out to other games. I think it was supposed to be Nicole, his girlfriend, not his wife. Oh yeah, and Banana Games. So I've done like 5 games this Scream-A-Day so far. I don't know the thing about the chapter names in this game. Or in this game. Does it? Well, they didn't have to tell me that. It was one of those annoying tropes where, like, what's happening is indeed super obvious, and the character is very obnoxiously unaware. No shirt update yet, sorry. Hopefully soon. Yeah. So he was being fooled by the marker. I guess it would have to essentially be controlling him for it to be... I don't know. The deception part didn't feel believable because, like, it was very easy to logically arrive at the conclusion. So the only assumption I can make is that it was supposed to be that it's completely overwritten his brain. Because her whole behavior was different, and she kept dropping obvious tells. Yeah, I had the impression that that he never actually saw the full video. Anywho, I can't really compare it to the original game because I didn't really play the original game, but this was very good all on its own. I assume it's significantly graphically enhanced over the original. It didn't look like an Xbox game or Xbox 360 game. It was 360, right? I think so. The feel in certain places felt dated, yes. The look never did, I don't think. But honestly, not terribly dated. To be honest, I don't think I play enough new games to really know what the current trends are. I would assume just more dynamism in like boss battles and things like that. You know, more cinematic type stuff where it's not so much that you're in an arena standing in one place shooting at something, but like more involved, feels more actiony. It's probably the general case. Is it quick time events? Is that the trend? I feel like that's probably not the trend. I'm having trouble even thinking of what's been like really the hotness. I saw Spider-Man 2 came out. I feel like people are pretty wild about that right now. I didn't even play the first one, but I remember that one being very popular as well. I haven't played Dad of Son yet. I feel like these are lists of games that are less relevant to the point. I was trying to think of games that are actiony and would have boss battles that would be actiony. So not things like Mario Wonder or Baldur's Gate. Tears of the Kingdom sort of kinda, I guess. Yeah, AAA action, that style. Which Tears of the Kingdom really isn't either. Nor is Elden Ring. Elden Ring isn't comparable because it's like it's its own thing. I don't think Lies of P fits because Lies of P is, to best of my knowledge, a kind of a Soulsy derivative. I think it's been a while since I looked at it, and all I looked at was the trailer. I think that was shown at the Game Awards. But I had the impression that Lies of P was like a Souls-like. So I'm basically talking about like the blockbusters of the game world, which would be more in the line of like Spider-Man or God of War or whatever. It's good. That's good to hear. I didn't personally like the style, and I hate the title. What a terrible, terrible title for a game. Lies of P. It's so... I don't know what it is, but it's... I feel like it's just not a good title. Yeah, remothered, tormented fathers. What a travesty. What a total travesty. Owl, thank you for 15 months. It's definitely in the running, yeah. The sequel to Remothered was so awful that it made me question, like, how the hell we got through the first game. I think I recall we were making fun of it pretty much the whole way through, but the second one was horrific. It was absolutely horrific. It was... God, you guys remember how truly terrible it was? It was insultingly bad. It was extremely broken. And then the content was entirely about it was just like references the dude wanted to make. Like the first, I think, enemy that you encountered was basically just the woman from Misery. And I think there were a few other things that we ran into where it was just like, these are just the most literal references possible. Like you're just, essentially, you're stealing things from movies and that just making that the content of your game. It's really, really bizarre. Like references are one thing. But references usually aren't the primary content of your shit. Oh my god. That was so confusing to see in chat. I was like, how did you like sub within a sub within a sub? Dave, thank you for 73 months. Yeah. Bloober's really good, but Layers of Fear 2 was really tedious. That's how I would describe that. Just disappointingly tedious, I would say. Yeah, the recursive sub. Devotion? Yeah, Devotion was fantastic. Devotion was the band game, right? Yeah, that one was incredible. Visage I never returned to after it released. I never did go back to it. Yeah, the tongue ripping scene. Good God. And that was just a really good game, and it had a really great story that it told very well. One of those truly rare gems. As well as their other, the other game, the side-scroller one that they did before that was quite good. The Keep Silence game was called Amaya or something like that. Araya, thank you. I don't even remember what the content of that game was. I think it actually had some bright spots, but for the most part was not great. Well, you would know, Dim, if you had been following along with the game. Oh, absolutely not Faith, no. Mortis is from Faith. God damn it. I wanted to do something after this, but the tooth pain is returning, and I am not feeling great. I'm gonna have to have a dentist visit, I think. Which sucks. This is why October seems like it's flown by. I have just not been able to do full-length streams. So, progress on these two games has been super slow. I'm so sorry, y'all. But I can guarantee we're gonna do big Scream-A-Day overtime. Fuck it. Real big. Maybe I'll just switch over to a Scream-A-Day channel. Huge scrad. Oh, yeah, I just feel like garbage, unfortunately. But, yeah, this was good. It was better than I expected, I'll say. The reason I never really got on to Dead Space sooner was that it just didn't really seem that interesting to me. I tend to, I think I tend to assume that unless it's something... No, to be honest, I think in general, I kind of assume that, like, AAA... I don't know how AAA Dead Space was. It probably was... It wasn't an indie release, right? Were they with EA from the beginning, or was the original an indie release? I simply don't remember. I thought that EA... Oh, I remember now. I remember... God, it fucking took me forever to remember this. Right. It was published by EA originally, and then EA bought the studio, and then just them. That whole thing, when EA was on this streak of, like, buying companies... They probably still do this. Just... When people were... When there was a streak of people paying attention to the shit that EA does, and this was one of the studios that they disintegrated. Anyway, what I was going to say was I tend to assume that AAA horror games are not going to be for me, because they tend not to actually be very scary. I mean, scary is not necessarily a requirement, but, like, they tend to be not scary in the bad way. Like, they aim for horror and miss a lot. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that this is always how it is. It's just sort of a general vibe that I have. I would say that this game maintained a good level of tense atmosphere throughout the whole thing. Like, this game did not really scare me, but so it's kind of like Resident Evil is for me. Although Resident Evil is a bit more varied now because they did sort of different style games. So I would say, like, Resident Evil is one of the ones where it's horror themed and I enjoy it and I'm not really scared by it, except the Resident Evil 2 remake was pretty solid. The atmosphere and lighting and the models and everything, like, just the it rose to another level. Like, Resident Evil 2 was actually scary in many parts for me. And then, like, Resident Evil 7 I thought was pretty scary. And that was first person, which I think is really, for me to be scared by a game, for it to have a chance of scaring me, first person is really probably going to be necessary because it's more immersive, just inherently. And Resident Evil 7 had some pretty scary parts. The Village didn't really. The Village wasn't scary to me, for the most part. I don't think there was a particular part that was scary. I enjoyed the game. And like I said, even though it's not scary, Resident Evil games in general are... Oh, the baby. I forgot about the baby. The baby was scary in The Village. The baby was really good. Thank you. But even if it's not scary, it's in the horror sort of space that I enjoy the most, probably. Not to mention, Resident Evil gets a free pass from me. Backrad, thank you for the raid. Welcome, Ponderers. So basically, for the most part, Resident Evil doesn't miss for me, apart from a few. A select few. One of which involves punching boulders. And, yeah. But scary games for me would have been... Are stuff like... Madison was pretty scary. PT was really terrifying, honestly. 50,000 credits awarded, 10 power nodes awarded, text logs awarded. Oh, I never went back and read that one last text log. Advanced Soldier Rig, level 6 suit unlocked. Oh, so I wasn't gonna get that suit until I completed the game. I had no idea. Yeah, New Game Plus. Yeah, so for me, but those games do typically have a high level of tension. And I would say that Dead Space here did that as well. I feel like Dead Space managed to approach a Resident Evil level. And I mean, it makes sense because it was, I think, mainly inspired by Resident Evil 4. I think it achieved that level of tension for me. And in this, the remake at least, the environments and the soundscapes and the lighting all were like super well done. I think the bits where I was the most on edge with this game was when the hunter was out and the soundscape was modified to if you were in an area where you could encounter the hunter. And I don't know if they had any sort of randomness to when you would run into it. I think that those were all scripted, but what they did, which was an excellent touch, and I loved this, was that when you were in other areas where the hunter wasn't, there were those sounds of it like banging around in the ventilation and shit like that. You'd hear these like it was only It was specifically hunter sounds. I didn't realize that's what it was at first, but it started to slowly kind of, like in the back of my mind, I was like, what is that? Why is that happening? This is new. This wasn't happening before. And that was a really cool, really nice touch, I thought. Well, I don't know. It depends. I mean, not every game's going to grab everybody, but I feel like the remake here did a good job for me. I just wouldn't say that it was actually particularly scary at any point. Just tense. But the vibes were overall good. I think that was all just a facade. I think the train scares were just that. They were just random scares. But nothing ever got on the train. Oh yeah, I know. I what I meant, Doug, was that, like, in terms of the fear or the horror or the tension working is not necessarily going to be for everybody. But I personally felt like this, for me, I would compare it to Resident Evil 4. As far as the negatives go, I would say there was some portions that were particularly really repetitive and not too terrible in any of those cases, except for the end there, like where we were babysitting the marker. That felt really weird. That seemed like a waste of time. I don't know why they would have tacked that on. It was just like, it felt like they were literally just trying to waste my time to make that level longer or something. And I think that's a tough balance, seemingly, that games sometimes struggle. Like games like this, where you definitely have some backtracking to do. They did a fairly good job in this. I appreciated that a lot of the areas where you would go deep somewhere, they typically were loops. So when you would get to the end would dump you out back at the beginning, so you wouldn't have to backtrack through the level to go back out again. Although that wasn't necessarily true of every single one of the levels. Alien Isolation is a terrifying game. I can say that with no caveats or anything, no asterisks. That was a terrifying game for me. Truly, genuinely scary as hell. Tedious repetitiveness in games is a huge one for me. Like that really sets me off. I don't like that. That's actually one of the things that I still hold against Halo 1. It just has a couple of parts that are just the most tedious shit in a game, like, ever, for me. And thus, I was never really a huge fan of Halo. And it was mainly due to that, I think. That there's just a lot of it, there felt like there was a lot of tedium. And I think at the time, for me, the comparison I was drawing was between that and, like, Half-Life, which is not a very fair comparison. Because at that time, for me, Half-Life was, like, my favorite game of all time. And Halo was really intriguing, and I did like it. I never hated the game, but I also wasn't looking to go back and play it much. And I think comparatively, Half-Life does have some tedium in it as well, the original, but overall I think it's a more steady forward movement compared to Halo. Halo had some stuff where it was like they were just trying, just like they would just throw you on a treadmill and it was just boring. But yeah, I am unfortunately not feeling super great at this point. I was going to check out the demo for this game called Crow Country, which I had just seen for the first time today. But it looks like something that's directly up my alley. So we'll probably check that out tomorrow. And then the question is, do we go directly into Slay the Princess? And I think that the answer is probably yes. But you let me know. I'm going to go try to feel better. Thank you for watching, everybody. And I will see you next stream. Have a beautiful evening.